I know at this point you really hope that the lost Olympiad was lost forever, but you are not this lucky. And we are at round 13, which by the way, it's a very interesting game. The game that the author chose for round 13, that was played on August 9, 1937, is between Petrov from Lithuania against Piazzini from Argentina. Petrov white opens with d4, d5, knight f3, knight f6, c4, c6, knight c3. If white wants an uncomplicated life, he can defend his c-pawn by e3. Okay? Or else the exchange by c takes d5. Now black can take the pawn and at least feint at holding it. d takes e4. a4, preventing b5. And now it continues with bishop f5, knight e5, the Krauss attack, and more ambitious idea than e3. For it not only attacks the c4 pawn, but also propose to build up the center with f3 and e4. Okay, so it's clearly a very interesting move. e6. This is called the Bogolyubov line. The controversy continued throughout the 1940s about the relative merits of this and mock variation that was knight bd7 followed by queen c7 and then e5, it seems. But let's see. Okay, the Slav in those days often became an argument about who should be forced to advance the e-pawn 2 squares. Okay, so let's see what happens after e6, g3, so it didn't do f3 and e4. Here Petrov takes the game onto new ground. The usual choice at the time was between e3 or bishop g5. By developing the bishop on the long diagonal, he makes it risky for black to try to sustain the c-pawn with b5. Okay, so he says this idea, and bishop g2, it makes it difficult to play b5. Okay, obviously. Okay. And it says the danger white attempt to force e4 at win, so it seems that there was another game in 1928 where practically black was able to give checkmate in few moves because white played 7 f3, after which continued with bishop b4, e4, bishop takes e4, f takes e4, knight takes e4, queen f3, and queen takes d4. Boom, that's amazing. Queen takes f7, unfortunately there is no checkmate here because it's control. King d8, queen takes g7, and now finally black can move, right? Bishop takes e3, b takes c3, but now it's black's turn, so it's queen f2, king d1, and I hope that now you can see the checkmate coming. Can you see the checkmate? Yes, no, maybe, I don't know. Knight takes c3, and the game is over. Beautiful game. It seems it was Prets-Piorka tried it against Sharon at The Hague in 1928. So f3 wasn't the move to play. Interesting. Okay, let's return back to the game. Okay, so we were here where I played g3 because when it was played f3 in another game, white lost badly. So after g3, bishop b4, bishop g2, knight e4, and here we already have an amazing move, bishop takes e4, bishop takes e4, and now f3. Bishop g6, castle, b5. Piazzini thinks he has achieved an ambitious aim by exchanging on c3. He can hold the gambit pawn and establish a massive 3-1 queenside majority. Let's see what happens. He takes b5, bishop takes c3, bishop b takes c3, and c takes b5. In an endgame, it looks as though black's victory on the queen side would be automatic. But this is where Petrov begins to play his trumps. So, what do you think it's Petrov trump? What do you think now white will continue with? Try to pause the video because sometimes they are not flashing moves with tactics, combination, checkmate and so on. Sometimes are moves that make sense for that particular position. Okay, so white played bishop a3, which practically blocks the king from trying to escape from the center, right? So that's a kind of a big deal. Here it says, fourth blow, black cannot castle, and so for the moment is a rook short. Yeah, because the rook is out of the game. Piazzini has his remedy for that, unseat the central knight by f6, and then tuck queen away on f7. Okay, f6, knight takes g6, h takes g6, and here it comes the second lesson to Piazzini. The second blow. What do you think Petrov played with white? So try to pause the video and guess. Or not guess, just try to find the right move. Queen b1, tuck and tuck. Second blow. White threatens to capture on b5 or g6. In either case, with a check. The whole aspect of the game is changed, and Piazzini will have to pay dearly for his rag pawn position and lack of development. King f7, queen takes b5, queen c7, and rook f b1. Now all the game is clearly on the queen side. Here it says the queen side, which was to have been black's strength, has become his weakness. Knight d7, queen a6, threatening to take over rank as well. Knight b6, bishop c5, queen c6. And what do you think white played? Here he played e4, settling the e-pawn argument at an opportune moment. The move not only seizes the center, but has a tactical point of squashing any ideas black may have had of getting counterplay with queen c6, d5, h5. Unfortunately, e4 is there, he cannot do it anymore. So let's see what happens. Oh. He played rook h b8. No, rook b8. No, I cannot see. Rook h b8. Sorry, sometimes the letters H and B seems the same here. Seeing no hope of achieving anything on the H file, the rook comes across to the main theater of war. And now all 8 pieces are on the A, B and C fire. So imagine, in fact, it's true. They are all here. Rook b4, rook c8, queen b5, queen takes b5, rook takes b5, g5, and rook ba5, attacking here very heavily. Okay, practically it's threatening rook takes a7, but also bishop takes b6. Rook b8, rook takes a7, king g6, and rook 1 a6, and here black resigning. Here it says black is bound to lose more material, so ends one more attempt to keep the queen's gambit pawn. Okay, this was a beautiful game. Now let's go to round 14.